The waste of the week goes to the U.S. Office of Overseas Schools and the Small Business Administration for the lax oversight allowing scammers to fraudulently obtain PPP loans intended for small businesses struggling through the pandemic. Joining us right now, President and CEO of OpenTheBooks.com, Adam Andrzejewski. Adam, good morning to you. I also want to talk to you about why you lost your job with Forbes as a contributor. We're going to get into that momentarily here. First, though, let's start with this. You took a look at the spending habits of the U.S. Office of Overseas Schools, a federal agency that's really designed to help government employees abroad send their kids to schools that meet the American education standards. And according to the Inspector General's report, the agency mismanaged more than $3 million. Adam, what were those funds used for exactly, and what's being done to correct it?
So it was $1 out of every $4 of grant making at this small federal agency that the Inspector General found they mismanaged. And Jan, every single dollar that's mismanaged is a dollar that doesn't go into the classroom to educate children. They found, again, a lack of accounting control, that they didn't have proper controls on who was paid. And then there was no follow-up on $3 million worth of grant making on whether the jobs that they paid for were actually finished.
My goodness. And then you also looked at all the scammers who fraudulently got money through the Paycheck Protection Program. These cases right here, they are outrageous, Adam. You found one guy who got $2.1 million and he bought a Lamborghini. How in the world was it so easy for these people to get so much money? And where's the accountability so this can't happen again?
Well, not only did that fraudulent PPP loan for $2.1 million purchase a Lamborghini, but they also purchased a Rolex. Then they went shopping for designer clothes at Gucci, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton. So look, the SBA was in charge of doling out this money on the Paycheck Protection loans. It was meant for mom and pop businesses on Main Street, but they didn't check an important list. Over at the U.S. Treasury, there's a do not pay list. They never checked it, and $3.6 billion went out the door.
Wow, and where's that guy right now? Is he facing any charges?
Hopefully he's sitting in a federal penitentiary.
Right.
If he's guilty.
All right, Adam, you made headlines of your own this week when you lost your job as a longtime Forbes contributor, and you believe it has to do with your investigative reports on NIH and Dr. Anthony Fauci. Tell us what happened here.
So Dr. Anthony Fauci is the most highly compensated federal employee, and Janny's also the most visible. So it's incumbent upon all of us to give him oversight. And for the past 13 months, I've done just that. I became a subject matter expert on Dr. Fauci's finances. For instance, the Faucis have done very well. They have a household net worth that rivals $11 million. In 2020, at the height of the pandemic, on their federal income, their royalties, and investment gains, they made $1.7 million. Most people now know that Dr. Fauci out-earns the president at $456,000 a year. Well, his wife's also a federal employee, the chief bioethicist at the National Institutes of Health, and she out-earns the vice president of the United States north of $235,000. So when you tack on the cost of benefits, the two Faucis make every single year, $900,000 at taxpayer expense. When I showcase these findings and more at my column at Forbes, the National Institutes of Health, they put pressure on Forbes. Forbes quickly folded and my column was terminated.
What did they say to you?
So my editors questioned why I wrote 3 pieces in 3 weeks. And when you look on Dr. Fauci, and when you look on the Forbes platform, there's actually 1,600 pieces on Dr. Fauci. But Forbes is not the enemy here. The reason this story is so valuable, I think, to the American people is because unelected bureaucrats like Dr. Anthony Fauci have commandeered the organs of state power and authority. There's 86 public affairs officers over at the National Institutes of Health. Taxpayers pay them every single year up to $15 million. 6 of those executives jumped on an email with me and the top guy at Forbes on a quote unquote corrections email with no substantial corrections. I felt that was not about corrections, that was about pressure. Unfortunately, within 24 hours of that email, Forbes said I couldn't write about Fauci any longer. And then in 10 days, they terminated the column.
Now the magazine did not explicitly say you were let go because of this, but published reports state that a Forbes spokesperson wrote this. Forbes regularly removes contributors who don't meet our high editorial standards. So when they let you go, what did they say the reason was?
So there's no good writing. Jan, you know there's only good editing, and the Forbes editors are some of the best. But they can't say my work wasn't quality. I was there nearly 8 years. I put up 206 pieces on the platform for nearly 17 million views. In 2018, I believe it was, about 4 years ago, they actually gave me a title promotion as a senior policy contributor. So I'm proud of the work that we did there. Again, it's not about Forbes. It's about government pressure on mainstream news organizations and those news organizations folding, which emboldens government to continue to put pressure on major American news media.
And Adam, right now you were looking for a new editorial partner. How many investigations are you currently looking into right now?
Well, right now at our organization at OpenTheBooks.com, we plan on publishing 500 investigations this year. And so I am looking for a new home. Jan, maybe we'll just break all of those 500 investigations right here on the national desk.
I like that. All right, Adam. You might be too much for us to afford right now, though, but I love that. I love that idea. All right, Adam. Thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.